Talk Show. We are here with a brief segment we're going to have right now on the controversy about the Harriet Tubman movie. And like we just, people are hating it. We just talked to Chris Randall, and he was like, "It's cool white saviorism," and there's a lot of controversy over that. Have you seen the movie? I'm here with the good Councilwoman Donna K. Williams, and we're also here with Zaid Muhammad. Do you see the movie? What'd you think of it?
Did you see it, Zaid?
Oh yeah,
I seen it.
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
so and so all three of us have seen it.
Yes.
Okay. Sure. All right.
Sure. Where you want to begin?
Well, what do you think? Should people boycott the movie?
I don't think so.
No.
Chris Randall says boycott it. Don't see it.
No, I don't think you should boycott.
We got other things to boycott.
And more so that you should not allow anybody to draw their conclusion for you. So you need to see and draw your own conclusions for the movie. And I think
love it, hate it. Just
love it, hate it.
See what it is. It is what it is.
Go back and cause you to. I know for me, it caused me to fact check. It caused me to, determine what was creative license versus what was true. So it caused me to actually go back, picked up Annette's book, and said, "Hey, did Annette write? Yeah, did Annette write?"
Annette Austin, who wrote Harriet Tubman for Beginners.
Yes, so
you should all see.
Read,
watch,
all read.
You should all read Harriet Tubman for Beginners.
So it should cause you to do a couple of things, but by taking somebody else's what they think from it, it doesn't just give you an experience. And I think you should have your own. As a matter of fact, and took 42 students as well.
Okay, and I think that was my reaction to it as well. I was like, yo, what was real, what was fake? And I was actually Googling stuff, looking stuff up.
Right.
And one thing that was surprising that was real was the part about don't go to the bridge, and like her talking to God and having that religious relationship with it. I thought that was interesting in terms of being a real aspect of it. Where although many other, because I would have thought that would have been fake, but that actually is something that was part of the mythology of Harriet Tubman.
So she was a very spiritual person. She was very spiritual. Yes.
I want to give it a longer view. This is not the first time that Harriet was been able to effort bring Harriet to the screen. There have been several very serious efforts that need to be appreciated. Right? The late great Ruby Dee, who did a very strong presentation for television.
Oh wow!
Back in 1960. You can find it. It's worth looking at. It's a very strong presentation with her boo, who helped direct it, the late great Ossie Davis. In the early 70s, the great Cicely Tyson did a version that also merits look. In fact, I like the Ruby Dee version better because it shows a whole transformation of her character, but it starts from a place of strength that I think everyone would appreciate. This particular film,
1971, To Be a Slave.
To Be a Slave.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
I saw that. I just looked it up on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you like this one better than? Is that
I like
better
I
than
like
Harriet?
that. I like the original one that Ruby Dee did back in 1960.
And you're like, oh wait,
there's one before 1971.
So Ruby Dee did one in 1971. You're saying
No.
one that.
What are you looking at?
To Be a Slave, Ruby Dee and Ossie Davis.
No, that's not it.
Okay.
That's not it. What Ruby they did was back in 1960.
Okay, so we have to
There
look
was a
at
show called Great Adventures that tried to dramatize important moments in American history. And they had a liberal moment and did Harriet
in 1960.
So was it more of a bio?
No, it was
okay.
A dramatization.
A dramatization. Okay.
Yeah, it was, it was a movie made for television.
Okay.
Right. Very strong, and given the fact that television is 1960 television,
right?
Very different from television in 2019.
Okay.
The Great Adventure, Go Down Moses.
That's it.
And then you said Cicely Tyson too, right? Okay.
Cicely was in the early 70s.
Okay.
Right, and it was right around the time that she would ultimately come out and do Sounder and
A Woman Called Moses.
Yeah,
A Woman Called Moses.
Right.
Okay.
Biography of Jane Pittman. That was her heyday. She did a very decent treatment of Harriet as well, given what we know about it.
Okay.
But this particular film, right? Cassie Lemons. I want people to understand who this black woman is, who was the director.
Well, who is she?
Right? Daughters of the Dust.
Right, because the new Daughters of the Dust, which was a
Right.
brilliant movie, right?
Brilliant movie, very ancestrally grounded. And she has not done another film until this because of her own concern with making sure our ancestors and their spirituality is properly grounded and represented.
Wait, Cassie Lemon's The Daughters of the Dust.
Yes, putting it together now.
And as
Wow.
I read, they
And
said
she
that
hadn't done another movie. This is her first movie since Daughters of the Dust?
That's right. She waited until she found something that had that ancestral bite, that ancestral strength, and some ancestral
But she's
dignity.
been writing this for 10 years. And when she started, she had Viola Davis, as I'm reading, in mind for Harriet Tubman. However, 10 years later, because the movie now portrays a young Harriet, Viola aged out. So, yeah, so okay.
Oh, that's wild. Oh, Viola would
Not much. Viola still got it going on.
Right.
Right.
But,
actually,
Viola could have.
Yeah.
Well, this
Because you see her arms?
Yeah.
Viola's range. Viola's range. I'm saying this also with theatrical guys because I have an acting background. Viola's range. I would love to see Viola try that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes. Now,
so did anyone like what does she say about the criticisms of like just the making up of history and like, you know, adding the characters and like all the liberties she takes? A lot. I mean, it's getting trashed on social media.
So the part that's getting trashed is the part with Omar Dorsey, where he was a black man who helped the slave catchers. So that was one part, and it wasn't so much. It was the part where he had interaction with Janelle Monáe. I think when he stomped her,
right.
That was really probably the most violent part in the movie. So that part, as you read across, there is the fact that there were persons of color who helped slave catchers. So that's not untrue. But why does she have to put it in this context? Was the question. And I don't know. As men, do you want to speak to that?
I'm glad it ended for him the way it ended.
Okay.
Well, right? Now, let's break this down,
Okay.
right? Fact versus the dramatization, right? William Still, who was kind of played down in this, was every bit what Janelle Monáe's character came to be. He did all of that, right? But in the name of
William Still, break that down.
William Still was the point person in Philadelphia that organized the transition of folks who were brought out of captivity from the South into Philadelphia.
He was the person who was interviewing people in the movie.
Yes. From Lawnside, New Jersey, by the way. There's a Jersey dimension to this.
Okay.
From Lawnside, he was a bad man, right? He trained a lot of folks who participated in the Underground Road at various capacities, right? And his documentation made him such a target, especially when the Civil War started, that he had to destroy that documentation because they were coming for him, not just for his head, but for that documentation. Absolutely.
Right? Oh, so the documentation gets destroyed; it doesn't get transported to Canada.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
So
where I was is that it looks like there was an effort to strengthen all of the women characters who played a role in that, and this role was created for this fictional trainer of women that Janelle Monáe was.
Okay,
I'll take it.
Okay,
right? Because when you're doing films like that, you're going to create characters. Yes, you're going to do
and have characters for particular points.
Yes,
I thought her point with the black male character, the one that's very controversial, was like to critique like negative forms of black capitalism, and like there's this poetic justice aspect of it that, you know, when we turn on our own, when we help people, they will be the ones to kill us, right? As in like the white people, right? Like white people will kill you even if you work with them and you get that money. You might think you're getting that money, but you're valueless. You're still like, they will still treat you like an animal.
I'm getting ready to deal with the 50th anniversary of the assassination of Fred Hampton, who was killed by virtue of a snitch setting him up, poisoning him first, and was rewarded with $300 for Fred's life.
Right.
And best organizers that we had of his generation killed at 21 years old. An informant, because he had a little record. He was getting ready to go to jail for something else. They turned him into an informant and had him ultimately set Fred up so they could be defenseless when they were attacked and killed on December 4th, 1960. Now, at every turn of our struggle, especially when it came into any kind of armed or very serious. It has always been class traders.
Right.
Always has been.
And so, you know, so
but I think this dude was not falling out of the sky as a character. They existed.
And I also think that there's so many different positive black male characters inside this movie, like at every stage, right? Like you had the William Still character, you had the people you had the people up the river, you had the guy who worked with him, who changed. He was like, "Wow, I'm a follow Harriet." Right? He's probably a fictional character too. But I mean, it's like she went out of her way to be like, "Here, right,
change people's lives."
And it's even funny because when we went back and we talked to the students, like, who was in that room when she got to Philly when they were having a meeting? But they didn't mention his name. Who was in that room? And the students even recognized Frederick Douglass.
Oh yeah,
exactly. But I mean,
John Brown had his cameo for John Brown's representation
in there as well. So, but I mean, Frederick Douglass is a more popular figure that students would know than John Brown.
And that's a problem.
Definitely, definitely.
But we are nearing our end of the segment. We got to get to DJ Rhino's mix because DJ Rhino is the best DJ in the entire
I'm telling everybody
universe.
to go see it. I'm telling everybody it has value. Harriet Tubman's legend was real. Harriet Tubman was a Pan-African figure. She's from Ghana. Your sister traced her ancestry to Ghana, and she has been installed as a queen mother posthumously. She is Nana Harriet Tubman by our people in Ghana. So I don't care where folks are from. We are all an African people. That child who played her character, she has some issues in her she's in her 20s. And she has grown as she took on that role, as we should all grow when we embrace our history and the legacy of our ancestors. Go see the flick. It's worth it. Take the children, take all, the male and the female, take them all.
All right, so it's worth seeing. Talk about the history. Read after you see it. But at every point we should take a tribute to our ancestor, who to me is a real life superhero. Like, she went back into slavery to get her people out, and I think that just understanding what it took for that was my takeaway from the movie. My takeaway from the movie is, she went back. Back again, and that's real, right? Like, she went back and back again,
Harriet Tubman was one of the greatest human beings to walk this earth.
And literally walked.
We'd have gone out, We'd have gone out, but we'd have gone back in. And we wouldn't have gone back in.
That's right.
We'd have been like, "Ooh, I'm free." Like, go back in.
And I think some of the lessons as we wrap up is that she stayed on purpose. She stayed on focus. She went in, she went out, she went in, she went out. She stayed on purpose. And that's something that, that we need to pay attention to. But here's what we're talking about Harriet Tubman.
Yes.
We're talking about it in different, whether we like it or whatever. We're talking about
it. One more time.
Right. Movies out.
One of our greatest military figures.
We
have an armed military tradition that we need to appreciate. Our ancestors never accepted slavery, and that's one of the high stories that crystallizes that like none other.
And here's what I will say: with all those students that got to see the movie, I'm sure when Harriet Tubman comes up again in a class in a high school, it's going to be a little different conversation now.
Yeah. All right.
Now, I should do one shout out because I didn't mention Aisha Hines. Aisha Hines did a portrayal for the show that just went off the air called The Underground. It was the last episode. And she made an enormous presentation of Harriet, the orator. Right?
At the theater?
No. This was Harriet was supposed to address a meeting of abolitionists, black and white, that were just, in
the canceled show.
And the show wound up getting canceled.
Underground, okay.
Aisha killed that.
Okay.
She killed it. So I meant to mention that in a historical chain of how she's been represented.
Oh, nice. All right, so DJ Rhino, thank you, brother, man. Are you ready, man?
We always ready. Right.
All right, go see Harriet
Good
Tubman.
Times is coming back live.
Love it, hate it, but talk about it. Talk about it.
Be about it.
Yeah, I'm not in, I don't know, I'm